Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. We have Austin and Alex here.
Hey guys.
Thanks so much for following and listening and watching on whatever platform you're doing so at the moment. So today we're going to do, as we are kind of accustomed to doing, we're going to start with some questions from the community that we haven't been able to get to in the last couple podcasts because of different things here and there. So actually, Austin, let's have you start us off this morning. And
start with questions.
Yeah, questions from our friends.
We never have time to get to them at the end.
Right, exactly.
So it makes sense to start up top. Okay, yeah, we got a couple questions. One from, do I get to pick one? Or
Dude, you can pick one. I don't even care.
Okay.
What's your favorite one?
Let's see here.
It's the longest choice
I was
ever,
trying
dude.
to pick. All right, here we go. This is a good one. From Kyer Stav. I just took a stab at that. Could you do FPV antennas for dummies?
Episode. I really have no idea what antennas are best suited for transmitting and or receiving.
Austin is losing it right now. It's fantastic.
No, we're good.
Wait, I wish you guys, so those of you that can't see on the YouTube or whatever thing, you can't see him dying, but it's hilarious.
Just pronunciation.
Okay,
jokes.
so Kyer Stav said, could you do FPV antennas for dummies episode? I really have no idea what antennas are best suited for transmitting and or receiving.
Right.
That's a good.
It's a fair question.
Yeah, because I mean, you kind of have your basic like 5.8 helical antenna that most people use for just about everything. But I know that there's patches and there's pepper boxes and there's all kinds of other things that you can use
And to be honest, out of the three of us, none of us are exactly experts on antennas, but we do have a lot of people here at the shop. So I think doing an episode is definitely a good idea. We have done them in the past, but the thing with FPV gear or just like RC gear in general is it becomes outdated very quickly because the technology is always changing so fast. So that's a great question, and I definitely think we can add that to the board.
We have access. We also have access to lots of experts that we could potentially have on the podcast talk about antennas
100%
for hours.
Truth.
So
maybe not for hours. I
For
don't
a
know
half
if
hour.
I don't. Maybe that'd be a better option. I think.
Next question.
Yes. All right, Alex, choose one, my friend.
Kevin Teschner.
What's up, Kevin?
Says, love you guys. Will you ever build a foam board airplane capable of carrying a human passenger, or is that something that should ever be attempted? I would love to hear your thoughts. Well, we did the Flugtag, which I guess if we would have jumped that thing off a mountain, it would have flew somewhere.
At some rate.
If we would have put motors on it, I think it would have flown somewhere.
It honestly did seem like it was going to fly. Now, unfortunately, after the Flugtag event, it is protocol that Red Bull destroys all of your aircraft, which is very sad.
Yes.
We were able to save the vertical stabilizer, but we are actually, and I believe that's on the talking point list today, is we are actually in the works collaborating with some individuals on our new Flugtag design because we won the Red Bull Flugtag. For those of you guys who don't know what Flugtag is, it is a competition put on by Red Bull where you build a crazy glider craft and you go jump it off of this huge platform into the water in some big city. This year in August, it's going to be in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And we are going there and hopefully to maintain our title as champions of the U.S. Flugtag.
And you guys can help us do that because there's not only an overall champion, but there's also like a
People's Choice, which we also won last year.
Yes.
Thanks to you guys.
Yes, it was all because of you guys supported us through the social medias, and everything that you guys did was fantastic. We really appreciate that. But more on that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So great question.
Great question,
Kevin Tesh.
I would not condone attempting that.
Yes.
At home.
Will
we try it? Maybe, but we technically get paid for this, so that's technically means we're professionals.
True.
So do not try this at home.
But only technically. Only on the technicality.
And we're doing some big projects coming up here shortly. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to be foam board airplane things, but they're going to be pretty big projects. So it's
capable of lifting humans. Whether I doubt they will lift humans,
right.
But like the giant mini quad, for example, depending on what kind of human you got, it could
like my baby.
It could lift it. Yeah,
he's 7 months old. You could lift him.
It had like 120 some pounds of thrust or something like that.
Yep. So that's crazy. We'll future things might be capable, but we're not sure if we'll be able to do that. We want to be safe, obviously.
I apologize to anybody. I apologize to anybody who was wearing earbuds and now cannot hear.
Literally, their eardrums are blown out. Appreciate that. Thanks, Kevin. So here's another one from Jeff M. Stevie, something of that nature. Are Gremlins available with FR Sky receivers? I'm not sure what DSMX is, but I think it's Spectrum. I can't solder those little wires without cursing, so I would rather you build it. Thanks. That's a good question. We actually just got in some new receivers from FR Sky, the XM Plus receivers, which will be available to use for both the Gremlins and like a plug and play option for Baby Hawks. Is that true? I think that's the case.
Yeah, I think that Jeff's talking about the have Flight Test build it for you option on the Gremlins. But
Correct.
yeah, we'll definitely add that XM Plus receiver to that option, so you can select between DSMX or XM Plus.
And I know that TJ was super excited about the XM Plus receivers coming in, just giving it another kind of version for other people to build your own Gremlins or have us build it, obviously, which is an option. You just click on the store and you click a little button, and our good friends here at FT will build that for you if you don't want to solder those little joints together. So.
And if by chance you guys are a new listener, the FT Gremlin that we're referring to is, if you're watching on YouTube, it's this little tiny brushless quad right here, which is pretty cool. They've had quads this size for years and years, but it's been as of recently that they've been making them with brushless motors, which give you more power, more efficiency, better performance, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So.
And we're actually coming out with, we've been talking about this really recently, carbon fiber frames.
Yes.
This is actually Alex's prototype with carbon fiber, which it flies like a dream from what I understand from him flying it. He loves it. And you can even go on the forums and see the DIY Gremlin forum post. There's 350, 360, 370 different threads that people are talking about their own designs, 3D printing designs, et cetera, et cetera. So go and have fun with that. Share your designs, share your input, because we love seeing that every single day.
It's all about the fun. That's what we say
all about
with
the
these
fun.
Gremlins, because it honestly is like a low stress, low maintenance little quad. We'll put some links in the description below. We've done a couple videos on Gremlins. We can do the store listing, forum post, yada yada.
Exactly. And let's see. Austin, let's go with one more.
So Kevin Finkel says, how much caffeine does Stefan go through in a day? Whatever it is, you might want to reduce it by half. I happen to know that Kevin doesn't really drink caffeine.
Kevin?
Or Kevin?
How do you know Kevin?
I'm Stefan.
I do know Kevin. Other guy, Stefan. He doesn't really drink caffeine.
No.
So
Yes,
there's nothing to reduce.
We fed it to him once just as an experiment, and it didn't turn out well.
I was literally like
had the
jittering.
had the opposite effect. It put him in a coma.
Yeah, I do like Coca-Cola, so I will have a Coca-Cola at lunch or something of that nature. But I do not drink like 6 cups of coffee. I don't drink coffee at all. Sweet tea here and there.
Coffee is actually better for you than Coke.
Oh, I'm 100% sure that that's the case. I just haven't drank coffee. I don't really like the taste.
Actually, I read a headline that said there's really no amount of coffee that's bad for you.
Ooh.
And so I'm just going to roll with that. I didn't read the article. I just went with the headline.
The Federal Drug Administration.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
They both have coffee. I've got water sitting here.
So
over here.
so there's really no amount of coffee that can hurt you, according to a headline that I read somewhere. So
That's awesome.
Must be true.
only the best information here.
You can always accept the information here as truth. It's crazy. Actually, don't don't do that.
Do we want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do the last one.
All right, Frank Gordon. I've been a model builder for over 4 decades. What's the strangest, most elaborate, off-the-wall thing that you've designed and built that has flown?
Ooh. Each of us, or just
I'm gonna-
I think overall.
I'm going to take that as the royal you.
Yes, the
as in
overall
flight test.
FT.
Well, can I just talk about myself for a second?
Please.
Yes, go
Thought
ahead.
you'd never
dude.
ask.
Go ahead, man.
Craziest thing I ever built and flew, which I don't have like a huge arsenal of scratch built projects that I've done, but I have done a small handful. And I'll have to see if I can dig up some pictures, but I made a Flying V guitar
What?
that's right.
out of foam board.
That was a while ago.
It was like probably 5 years ago.
How
Yeah.
have I never heard of
Dude,
this?
and it flew.
Are you kidding me?
It flew.
It barely flew, but it did fly.
It flew. It flew.
No.
Actually, I think Chad Capper crashed it.
Oh,
But
do you still have it somewhere?
no, it's gone. But it looked really cool. I'll see if I can dig
Pictures?
up some photos.
Video, any of that nature?
Probably won't be able to find them, but
Fortunately, your best days are behind you now. Flying V guitar.
that was my
Dude,
when I was in
well
my
done, man. Good
scratch
work.
building prime.
Dude, killed it. Love it.
Probably
Yeah.
the craziest thing that I've seen fly recently was probably the giant mini quad project
Hmm.
that TJ and Chad and a couple other people around here worked on. So
Put a link to that below.
yeah,
Yep.
that was
A bunch of links.
what was the official size of that?
1,000
5 by 4?
1,300 millimeter. maybe?
Yeah.
1300
Ish,
millimeter
yeah.
quad. So you got your
It's large.
your 85 millimeter. Like
Is
a
that true, TJ?
Yeah, roughly.
roughly 1300 millimeter. That's crazy.
It's actually a secret.
But yeah, watching other people's reactions to that flying was like, because I kind of got used to it, like being around.
Yeah.
And then like you see other people's reaction to a fly. That's pretty nuts.
It's unbelievable. And the cool thing is that even though it wasn't an FT situation, but like one of the craziest things that I've seen fly was that huge 10-foot Super Bee.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I mean, 10 motors.
It's ours now.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, that's right. We have it now. It's sitting in Denison or wherever it's at, which will be at FLITE FEST EAST.
Yeah.
As well. So we'll be flying it there, or at least it'll be there. Whether it flies or not, we'll see. But yeah, that's one of the craziest things I think I've seen fly. I was not here when the helicarrier was around. I don't know.
Helicarrier was very sketchy. It flew.
Yeah.
It never exactly flew fantastic, but I guess that's just the nature of a helicarrier. Star Destroyer again it flew.
Yeah.
Those were pretty amazing to see as well.
Yeah.
So
no, those are awesome. So it's a great question, and you'll see, I'm sure, much more crazy building in the future.
Yeah. Well, we recently did the it's a 1,000 millimeter quad. We did a vlog.
The Banshee.
We did a vlog on it. It's called Heavy Metal Drone because it's made out of metal. But that's not really crazy. That's more going to be a long endurance. But in the works, in the background behind that, we have an even bigger project that Chad and TJ are working on. Right. And we're not going to start teasing that yet because it's a little bit a ways off. But It's going to be probably one of the biggest
that's
we've
exciting.
ever done.
That is exciting. And I'm sure you all in the community and watching and listening are excited about that. And we will give you and keep you updated on as much info as we can give you.
I can give you
spoiling.
a little bit more info. The thing that I'm excited about this is they are building this thing legitimately. So it's not going to be like a one-time video thing. They want something that they can build and keep and use, because that's one thing that I feel that we've been doing a disservice to the community is we build a crazy awesome helicarrier, but it's only built well enough to fly maybe for a couple flights for a video, and then we kind of have to scrap it. Whereas I think what we should be doing is make something that lasts a long time, can take a hit, and then we take it to FLITE Fest and we can share that experience with all of you. So you guys can not only watch the video, but you can also come out to FLITE Fest and experience it firsthand, because the videos can only do it so much justice. And we have very, very talented video editors. Jeremy and Christian have been killing it lately. But that being said, there's something about seeing it in real life, especially something that big. So that's kind of the plan with future big projects, is we're trying to make some long lasting projects.
Yeah, and that's kind of been a small theme as of late, probably the last couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, about not only with big projects, but with our episodes, to continue to be able to have something that we build, like a new plane or a new quad, whatever it is. And then usually after an episode, it kind of just goes away, right? But hopefully from now on, we'll be able to start bringing things into the mix where we continue to have, like we do a plane, comes back, we can do some type of accessory or whatever, so that you don't just see it once and it goes in the graveyard, which will be kind of, which I'm looking forward to for sure. So one of the big points today that we want to talk about is, because it's so close, it's actually 3 weeks away, 21 days.
Don't say that.
FLITE FEST EAST, right?
Yeah,
which
it's coming up really quick.
It blows my mind because I feel like we just got back from FLITE FEST West.
Yeah, we have about 930 pilots pre-registered.
Nice.
What did we have last year total? Like
1,200.
1,200. So we're.
But I if I remember correctly, we didn't have that much pre-registered.
No,
I think it was like 600 or 700.
I think we went into the event with like 850.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We also wanted to mention volunteers. So we have about 160 volunteers signed up for the event.
Yeah.
We'd encourage you guys. There's a link below to check into volunteers and to see what all is available as far as shifts and that sort of thing. Right. But even if it's taking a shift in the build tents, or if it's taking a shift greeting people as they arrive at the event. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, and you say taking a shift, it makes it sound like it's like a job. But honestly, like I know I've said it before, but like the volunteers is just like such a special community, and there's a reason why it's the same guys that come back every year. And there always is new people, but it's like a big family. Yeah, and you see people taking shifts together, and they're just hanging out, having a blast.
They are.
Obviously, you can see planes flying from anywhere in the event. But Flight Fest wouldn't exist without the volunteers. So.
But also, I think that the using shift terminology is helpful just to know that it is highly organized.
Yes,
Yes.
that's true.
Like the first year that we did Flight Fest, it was basically we had some really awesome people that pitched in to volunteer and to help that worked almost the entire event.
Oh.
And so we've really tried to refine it where we're kind of limiting the people that would just work the whole event if we didn't stop them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also just kind of clearly defining like, hey, if I sign up to volunteer, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And now that's very clearly defined. So
Yep.
there's lots of different teams and roles to get involved in.
Exactly.
And you kind of know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So-
And you can get into a role that you would prefer too.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely,
You're
yeah.
not going to get stuck doing something you don't
Yeah.
want to do.
And Andre is the man with the plan.
Yep,
He's
absolutely.
been organizing that.
Andre Rousseau.
Andre Rousseau. He's been doing a fantastic job. Actually communicated with yesterday about certain numbers for t-shirts and all this stuff. So you do get a t-shirt as a volunteer. It says volunteer with a cool logo on the back. This year actually there's going to be a little extra special little doodad that's given to some of these, more of like a personalized thing from FT to the volunteers. So that'll be. I can't give you any information on that because it's a secret. But that's another thing, a little incentive. And also the other big thing is that we have a couple different countries represented. We got obviously USA, Canada, Belgium, Germany, Mexico, Poland, and that's just what we know so far that are coming at the moment, which is really cool because it's just like it's becoming a huge worldwide thing.
Every event, I think to date, we've had, give or take, about a dozen different countries represented.
Yeah.
And especially for the East Coast, that's something special
Mm-hmm.
to come all that way to the middle of nowhere in Ohio to fly some planes with some friends. I mean, it speaks volumes to the atmosphere of the event.
Yep.
And we really encourage everybody to come out,
Mm-hmm.
both normal hobbyists and vendors. We're having
Yep.
a lot of new awesome vendors there this year, and I'm really excited for them to see the atmosphere of not only Flight Test but the Flight Test community, because you can read comments and you can watch videos online and stuff like that, but it doesn't all click and make sense until you come to Flight Fest.
You got to see it to believe it.
That's what Flight Test is all about.
Exactly. And that's the cool thing is that, Flight Fest, it, like you said, Alex, it's about those relationships that you just have, like
Yeah.
that you grow.
Mhm.
And I've been talking with multiple community members about, like, oh, should I go? Should I go? It's a long trip. There's a lot of different things involved. And out of nowhere, all the community members come up on the forums and this, that, and the other. And they're like, my friend, you need to go because of the relationship that you will gain with
Yeah.
so many people that you will know now for a lifetime.
Yeah.
It
It really is pretty crazy. And from the very first year, 2014,
Mhm.
I saw a ton of key friendships that began from there, and every single year, and even then some, they hang out outside of Flight Fest
Right.
now.
Exactly.
People, and it's a good majority of the people who come to one event are back every single year.
That's 100%
And
true.
a lot of times, if that's not the case, Fred Provost, he has there's very good reasons, and they normally are pretty bummed that they can't make it back. Fred, he's always been a big part of Flight Test and Flight Fest since the very beginning, but he's got a job and he's got to work it, and he can't get off for Flight Fest.
He's a
And
park ranger.
we understand that.
Yes.
We love you, Fred.
We love you so much.
Yeah, since you guys mentioned some vendors and that sort of thing, I figured I would grab my sheet.
Love it.
This is not a comprehensive list. This is just a handful of them. But we're going to have Horizon Hobby there as a gold sponsor.
Awesome.
So they're going to have a
Thank
really
you,
big,
Horizon Hobby.
they're going to have a really big presence at the event, which we're really excited about. We're also going to have the AMA and Team Black Sheep and Fat Shark there as silver sponsors. So
Awesome.
they're also huge supporters
Thanks,
of the
guys.
event. We have a few bronze sponsors that we're really excited about as well. Emax is going to be there and a couple of
Yes.
others. Team Black Sheep, like I mentioned earlier, Stone Blue, Boeing is actually going to have a booth at Flight Fest
really?
this year.
Wow.
Flex Innovations, a really nice little airplane company, and Mercury Adhesive, Air Bears, High Tech. So yeah, we have a really good lineup of people that are going to be at the event. So if you're excited about those vendors, let them know that you're excited about seeing them at Flight Fest. And again, that was just a handful. I feel bad. I thought that was the full list, but that was just a small section. So there's probably going to be about 20 or so different vendors there that you're going to recognize, be excited to see. So yeah, that's a part that I'm really excited about is it's just a cool opportunity to get different people from the industry together, and kind of like a fun, relaxed atmosphere. That kind of like the more festival vibe as opposed to like an expo center or something like that. It's a really unique time just to like hang out and just spend some time with some other companies.
Yeah, so it's a really cool opportunity. If you have the opportunity to come, start making plans now, because things do fill up, but also it's gonna change your life. It really will.
Well, and touching on the different vendors and manufacturers and stuff like that, you guys have probably noticed that we have been. A couple weeks ago, we met with Horizon Hobby. We got to go out and see their place. Yesterday we released the Motion RC Tiger Cat video, and we actually got to meet up with the CEO, correct?
Owner, yep, CEO or president.
The owner, president, CEO guy of Motion RC, A-Main Hobbies. There's been a lot of new relationships that we've been building, and that's all thanks to you guys. These manufacturers aren't contacting us because of us. They see this movement that's been happening within the industry. The flight test community has been building, and that's why I'm so excited for them to see Flight Fest and see the pure essence of what not only us but you guys, what we're all about together, as far as building and it. The planes are fun. The planes are tools that we use to build that relational aspect. But for us and for you guys, we know that it's about the people, and that's what I'm excited to show them firsthand.
And there'll be a link down below, Flight Fest link, so you can go and register or volunteer or whatever your heart desires. Get a pilot pass, etc. And we hopefully will see you guys there, which will be awesome. So on the other note of the like Flight Fest kind of stuff that's going on, another little update is the FT STEM. We just released, actually on our Facebook page, the Flight Test Flugtag. We talked about it earlier, Flugtag design challenge that we kind of, I guess, put out to 4 or 5 or 6 different schools, a couple home schools, a couple different schools, and we just chose a winner. Right, if I'm not mistaken. That's awesome. The North Central Washington Classical Flyers is the name. So their actual aircraft will be designed at and built essentially at Flight Fest.
Yes,
or at least most of it or some of it. We are obviously overseeing the entire build, but we do want to essentially have the community help us build it. So built and designed by the community and the STEM groups, and then we're just the ones that fly it. That's all we do.
And in some cases, push it.
Push and fly, right?
It's interesting.
You're going to fly it. We're going to push it.
Last year, we always kind of try to do things bigger than just the plane. So last year, and it wasn't really by choice, we kind of signed up for the Flugtag. We didn't really know what to expect, what we were getting ourselves into. We kind of forgot about it, honestly, for a little bit. And then, like, before we knew it, we had, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So last year,
10 days
last
exactly.
year, the whole idea of that project was we had 2 weeks and $500?
Mm-hmm.
And
10 days, $500.
We were able to make a plane, and it was a fun challenge. If you guys haven't seen those videos, we can put a link below. But the Flugtag is a fantastic challenge, and this year, as Stefan was saying, I love it because it's getting you guys involved. If you're going to be at FLITE FEST EAST, we hope to have you take part in building this crazy plane, because I tell you what, I just actually saw it for the first time. I don't know how, but I hadn't seen a picture of the drawing yet until today. It's pretty unique.
It is.
It's different.
It's a unique, and that's, I think Josh was looking for something not only unique, but something that had some thought behind it, as far as like, it's not just a wing or with a fuselage.
Well, and all of these schools that submitted a design submission, I think that we're kind of going to take some pieces and parts of elements that were really impressive of each of them. But this is the main design that I think that we chose. But these aren't just like kids that are sketching up something that they think looks cool. Like there's a ton of research and design and redesign and testing. There was so much put into this whole design concept that you got to really respect what a lot of these kids are doing. 100%. Like, it's really incredible. So even though it is different and it's not really something that I've seen at a Flugtag yet. I've watched a lot of Flugtag highlights, and I haven't seen anything that looks like that yet. But I think it's really cool to have something that's that unique and that's different. But a lot of thought has been put into, and a lot of design has been put into. So I think that a big part of Flugtag is silly and sketching something up that looks crazy and that sort of thing. And that's a fun part of the event. But I think it's really cool that these kids are putting actual aerodynamics and science and research into what this thing looks like, and on top of that, trying to make sure it looks cool.
Which is interesting because that isn't everything that a lot of teams can do. Like a lot of teams don't have that knowledge or that experience in aerodynamics.
Right.
But luckily, we have our awesome community to tap into because the Flugtag is actually judged based on a couple different things: distance, how far it can fly is one. What is the other one? Entertainment value,
skit and
yeah. So
and stuff.
I think it's theme, presentation, and flight distance.
Yeah.
So those are kind of so your theme is like last year we did Pokemon was our theme, and then your performance is like the silly thing you do before you fly it, and then the flight distance obviously is how well it performs.
Exactly.
But each of those are an equal 33% of your score.
Right.
Not that it's really that scientific, but but technically when the judges judge, they're supposed to take all three of those into equal account.
Yep.
So you can have one that doesn't fly very good, but it's really hilarious performance, really great design. That's going to score really well too.
Yep.
So it is kind of like a fun, wacky thing, but it totally fits within what we do here at Flight Test, which is we want to inspire people through flight.
Yep.
And you can just see like the families and the crowds that come out to this. You know, at some Flugtags they have upwards of 50 to 100,000 people that attend these. And this one we're going to be doing in Pittsburgh on August 5th, I believe, is they're expecting. They're doing it in conjunction with another event they have in Pittsburgh, but they're expecting
Three Rivers Regatta.
They're expecting as many as 400,000 people at this event. They're going to watch Stefan jump off a dock in a crazy contraption
and flap my arms really fast.
So it's really cool to really have that big of an audience, because when we do a video, we can generally expect that 100,000 people will see it in about a month. But to have 400,000 people watch you do something live is a crazy thing.
It's not nerve-wracking at all.
And it's not and it's not just us. It's 39 other competitors that are going to be doing it as well.
Yep.
And actually we went to like a team meetup in Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago. And it was really cool to meet some Flight Test community members there that are there competing.
Yeah.
And they saw, our video from Boston, and they had an intrigue into doing something like Flugtag, and finally decided to pull the trigger, applied, got accepted. So we're actually going to be going up against some Flight Test community members, and I can't think of something more fun than that.
Right.
So.
It's gonna be fantastic. So if you can be there, like you said, August 5th in Pittsburgh, if you're in the area and you want to come out, and
there's gonna be some really cool stuff going on that weekend with the Three Rivers Regatta that you mentioned. So if you wanted to make a weekend of it and you're just like a couple hours from Pittsburgh, it might be a fun trip.
And Pittsburgh's an awesome city. So there's plenty to do, not only at the festival but also around town. So look in your calendar, see if you got a date open. Come out and join us.
We'd love to meet you out there.
Yes, indeed. Awesome. So actually, we're going to go pop right into something that we got to do a little bit yesterday. It was a fun day.
Yeah, we had a crazy
Let's be clear on that. We had a shoot day yesterday, and just a little background on it. Andrus. Sorry about that. Wow. I was thinking Andre Russo, and it got hosed, dude.
Everybody messes up Andrus's name.
Yes.
So, not Andrus. It's not Andreas. It's not Andre. It's Andrus.
There it is, dude.
It's like Andrew with an S instead of a W.
It's not our fault. He has a hard name. Okay.
It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard at all.
So Andrus was kind of given a charge to go and design some FT floats, which we have never really tried in the past as far as pontoon style floats. And we have this awesome plane called the FT Tubby Cubby. And it's
actually called the Simple Cub.
Yes. It's the FT
Simple AKA Cub. FT
Tubby Cubby. I love that name though. It's part of my heart. And so we got the opportunity to go out and do a shoot on these floats. And to be honest with you, I was kind of skeptical just in general because like the wind and the waves, weren't waves, they're ripples, but just in general. And so I'm sitting there, we're flying, having a good time. And I'm not the greatest flyer. And I say that all the time. And I don't land, and you can ask Alex, I don't land planes super well. I mean, I broke a timber.
Or often.
Yeah, that's true.
It just ends with a non-landing.
Right. Sometimes I just keep going. Sometimes there's a tree involved. It is what it is, if you've seen that episode. But But I tell you what, Andres was charged with this design situation. He'd never done it before. And we made a couple different modifications, etc. And I tell you what, I felt, you guys can be the judge, I guess, but I felt it was a success.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with what Andres is just doing in general. You know, he has an X29 that he's designing, and he's got just some really crazy, awesome talented kid.
Actually, the vlog I'm working on right now you'll be able to see that X29.
Awesome.
It's one of the craziest foam board planes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So he has incredible skill and knowledge, and he's an incredible scratch builder.
Yeah.
And actually, I was really impressed because he had a really sophisticated contoured pontoon design for the Simple Cub, and it just, you know, it performed well, and it was like a great performer. But ultimately, he said, you know what, there's gonna be people that are gonna be scratch building these, and they just want to get floats together, and so I'm gonna go for a more simplified design to fit the Simple Cub. And so he ended up settling on just kind of a simple flat bottom design that works really well.
Yeah, and the floats that he made, which I think Josh tasked him, hey, I'm making this Cub design. You make me some floats. Within the first day, he had these beautiful floats that were like scale.
It's origami.
I mean, it looked beautiful, but Josh was just like, man, those are amazing. And Andrews is like, yeah, he's like, they're cool. He's like, but it was like probably twice as hard to build these floats as it was the plane. Which is really cool because right from the get-go, and that's why we always knew Andrews would be a good fit, is he really understands what we're all about, which is getting people into the hobby. And just because you can make a crazy origami plane, and I know for a fact Josh can make unbelievable planes that would be perfectly scale and like, you know, down to the smallest detail. Yeah. But he doesn't, because he knows that people are going to have a better experience, not only with the plane, but in the hobby in general. If you keep things simple, keep it repeatable. That's why Josh always uses common build techniques, and Andrews really took to that right off the bat. Right. And so the float design that he came up with, it is very, very functional, very simple to build, and honestly, it performed fantastic. I mean, Stefan flew it, so I mean,
let's just be honest here. I downwind floated it in, landed it, then the motor fell off.
And then your snap ring came up, and your motor just
literally
fell off
right as I hit the water.
He flew a whole battery, no problem. And the pressure was on. He's coming in for his first landing. He hit the landing perfectly, and then as the plane was floating along with zero throttle, the motor just fell off. It was really funny. It's going to be a good episode.
It was kind of a metaphor for his general RC experience.
Yes, right. Dunzo. And I wanted to bring light to that because Andres is literally, gosh, I'm going to get one of these days. Andres is going to, he's bringing a lot to the table, not just, you know, obviously from his mindset and how talented he is, but like you said, Alex, he really gets the FT motto. He gets people's scratch building experience. He's a talented kid, but he's just a great overall individual.
Yes.
He's like a good guy. You can talk to him. He listens. He can understand you and understand what you're trying to talk about, but he also can give feedback. And he also just genuinely cares about whoever he's talking with.
Yeah. He's finally started giving us a hard time for getting his name wrong.
Right.
Yeah,
finally.
He's fitting right in.
It's fantastic.
And he gets it. He gets it really well. And it was something that took me a lot longer than Andrews, but he understands that what he's able to do here at Flight Test is bigger than himself.
Right.
And it's easy to lose track of that sometimes when you get to be on camera and you get to be seen and liked on YouTube by thousands and thousands of people. It's easy to lose track of why we're doing what we're doing. Right. But that's something that we try to keep in mind, all of us, is that what we have the ability to do here at Flight Test is bigger than any of us. And even though, you know, Josh Bixler, it could be referred to as the face of Flight Test, it's way beyond Josh Bixler even. You know, it's this what we're trying to do here is bring people together, educate people, and entertain people about aviation, right? Because aviation has impacted all of our lives in different ways, and we know the power of it, and we wanted to share that with you guys.
We're trying to build that movement.
Andres has been a huge addition to the team, and let's just put it this way, we're going to get spoiled, and come the end of summer, I have a feeling we won't know what to do with ourselves when Andres has to go back to school.
I might.
Because he's only 16, we should mention, too.
Yes, correct. He's that good. He
just got his license.
Yeah, killing it with that van, loving it. Fantastic. So Andres, obviously you are not here at the moment while we're shooting this, and you'll see this at some point, but thank you for all that you do. And the community will welcome him as you guys get to see him and notice him at FLITE Fests and all these different things. We've had a couple different episodes with him, but continue to welcome him as we do each other all the time. So
does this podcast go out today?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Then also we were just talking about the FT Simple Cub.
Yes.
So to make a note, that comes out Monday.
Correct.
Comes out, which is the June 28th or whatever it is.
Something of that nature. Yeah, close to that.
The next Monday.
The next Monday.
Yes, and there'll also
right?
be
26.
There's also something in the works with the Simple Cub. I'll just tease a little bit that there'll be I guess I would call it an accessory, not necessarily for the plane, but maybe for the pilot. That will be coming out here shortly. That has to do with the Simple Cub. So
that was cryptic enough. I don't even know what it means.
Right, it's exciting.
Dude.
So
what are you talking about?
Just be on the lookout. Yeah, be on the lookout.
Okay.
Be on the lookout.
I got
it. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that.
I'm in on it now.
So we'll see about it. Last little bit that I wanted to touch on today is a community member. His name is Adam Cutlip. Right?
We were talking about coffee earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about coffee earlier, and I wanted to say it then, but I wanted to save it to the end because I love this kind of stuff. First and foremost, he has such a great heart, and he knows how much most of, not all of us, here at Flight Test love and enjoy and need and addicted to coffee. So Adam Cutlip, who is the part of or owner or of something, I'm not exactly sure what his proprietor of the Coffee Fool, which is a Minnesota company that does coffee.
Coffeefool.com.
Coffeefool.
Yeah, quick plug, coffeefool.com.
Yes, coffeefool.com. And there'll be a link below. He sent us a 5-pound bag of coffee beans.
Of delightfully roasted beans.
It came in.
Of
We
which I'm
opened
going
it.
to take some home.
That's actually not going to happen because it's at his house.
I stole it.
Dang it.
He stole it, dude.
So at the shop, as a lot of you probably know, we have a Dow at Burke machine,
Yes.
which is basically just like instant coffee at the push of a button. Because Josh kept getting mad because we would always spend so much time brewing coffee, grinding and brewing coffee, that he went out and bought this machine.
It's an art form.
So I took the liberty and I saw that huge bag of coffee. I was like, I'm gonna put that in my car real quick.
Yeah.
You
And
could have
it's-
taken half of it.
Right?
I'll give you some.
Okay.
I'll give you
And
some.
it smells amazing.
Actually, literally before we started recording this, my wife texted me and she's like, I like all kinds of coffee. She's like, I can drink like Folgers or whatever. She's like, but now I totally understand why coffee snobs are snobs, because this coffee has so much flavor.
There's a such
my
thing
goodness.
as the good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to thank you, Adam. Thanks
Yes.
for sending us stuff. People, I think our address was recently published online, so people have been sending us stuff, which is great. But we just wanted to especially thank you because that was a nice personal touch.
Yes,
And
it's fantastic.
Give a shout out to the company if you're looking for some great coffee. Coffeefool.com.
Yes, Coffeefool down. That was the Velvet Hammer. Is the one that in the coin phrase of Alex
That's
Zavada,
the name of the coffee. That's not
the
my
boot
nickname.
smasher, whatever you tried to call it earlier. You remember the name. But yes, the Velvet Hammer, that's the type of the coffee. And the coffeefool.com. Go and check it out. Give Adam some love as he has given us love because we love coffee. So, which is
love all around.
fantastic. It's so awesome. Hey, Alex, Austin, thanks so much for being on the podcast today.
Thanks
Really
for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Thank you.
As always. Thank you guys for watching and listening. You guys are fantastic. You have always been able to give us some feedback, which we listen to. You guys always give us great ideas for episodes, so keep those coming. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. You won't be disappointed. Also, hit that little notification bell to let you know when all the other info stuff is coming out.
Leave us a review too on
Yes.
iTunes or Apple podcast
Yes.
app.
Google Play.
Google Play.
Yeah, Google Music.
All that stuff. It helps us out a ton, and it also will help other people find our podcast. So
Exactly.
hopefully
And
it'll.
it doesn't have to be a 5-star review. You can give us a genuine, legit.
Yes.
What you think.
We want to
we wanna
know
hear
your
it.
feedback. We definitely want to know. So, yes. So, thanks so much for watching. And, guys, we will see you guys next time.
See you guys.
Hey, guys.
Deuces.